Hey everybody, this is Darkside Elite. Gonna come up with another quick video about the possibility of this rumor running around that James Gunn is doing two separate universes. That he's gonna start up a brand new DCU with the Justice League because if Suicide Squad succeeds, then WB wants James Gunn to do this. Now, I'm gonna be bluntly honest. I think that the whole situation with him and those pedophile tweets, I think that that should have sent him more into the indie leagues. He should have went back into the indies, wrote movies, and kept himself hidden for about 3 or 4 years. And then when everything died down and everyone started to see that he can actually do really good work, then he could have came back and did another superhero film. But for WB to pick this guy up for Suicide Squad, I felt it was a little too soon. And that's not saying that he can't do it. That's more saying that the fact of he is still a very hot ticket, and there's still people that are very upset about it, and about his tweets and his misbehaviors. And I'm still one of them. I still feel that he should be punished. He should be punished because if if Roseanne was able to do one tweet about using a derogatory, what people considered was derogatory towards a government official, which has been spewed around for ever since the internet was created, and it's been very very popular. And Roseanne's a very outspoken person herself, and people have known that ever since she came into the scene back in the early late 80s, early 90s. She's always been very very outspoken. She's always not let people tell her what she can or cannot say. She's always made concessions to because she wants to succeed, but she doesn't let anybody tone her down. And you got James Gunn coming out of nowhere saying that, oh, it was great that ABC was able to silence. He came in on his white knight, and then when and then when his tweets came out, everyone came to his defense saying that, hey, this guy's a really good guy and this and that and this and that. To me, I feel like they were just trying to salvage their movie so they could just make their easy paychecks. I think that what James Gunn should have did is he did actually, in my personal opinion, some of the right things. He said, "Hey, everybody, just make the movie. I made my bed and I got to lie in it." And I felt that he did a really good job with that. He took it on the chin and he disappeared. But now having him quite possibly being the new architect for for Justice League and a possible new DCEU, I think it's still too early because we don't know what he's going to do with Suicide Squad. It might come out looking like exactly like Guardians of the Galaxy, but with DC characters, and that's going to turn off a lot of people because there are some people that don't like Guardians of the Galaxy. You're going to have people that do. So from a financial standpoint, I think that they did a really good job because if he could get Marvel fans to come over to DC and look at their IP and be very excited about what they're doing, then that can make more revenue for them. However, you're going to turn off a lot of DC fans who just want good movies and they want the characters to be the proper way of representation. They don't want a Marvel platform with DC characters. They did it, and it was Justice League. That's what a lot of people said. They united the league, but it was united the Avengers with DC characters. And I'm in that camp. I think that if he really, really wants to make a completely divisive film, which he did, he helped with Brightburn, and he stood behind it. He said, "Hey, I love Zack Snyder's movie. I love Man of Steel. However, I know that he played that line by he played that line with with WB, no, with Disney. He had to come out and say that DC has to make their characters more lighthearted and fun and this and that. This guy does dark comedies. He does dark comedies. He doesn't do fluff family friendly films. He's never done that. This guy's a horror writer. He's a dark comedy writer. He does things that actually can make people feel uneasy and Brightburn was, in my personal opinion, Brightburn was actually not that bad of a film. It was actually pretty dang cool, and it actually does tell you that if you had a problem with Man of Steel, but you had no problem with Brightburn, then there's something wrong with you. That's how that movie was supposed to be presented. That if you had a problem with Man of Steel, here is exactly what you thought Man of Steel was, but told much darker, and people thought that it was not that bad of a film. And I'm like, okay, then that shows that everyone has a huge distaste for Zack Snyder, because if you had a problem with Man of Steel, but you didn't have a problem with Brightburn, then there's something wrong with you. There is. I liked both of them. I think that they were both good representations of what would happen if one is an alien origin story telling you how can Superman become the symbol of hope versus this poor kid who basically feels alienated, never really connected with anybody, and grew into psychopathic tendencies and started killing people because he felt angry and he wanted to get out his powers. So, but I think that having James Gunn a part of this is very, very tricky, and I think that that is very telling. We got to see how Suicide Squad is. Now he's bringing in very, very obscure characters that nobody's ever heard of. He does have the root characters like Harley and Captain Boomerang and Amanda Waller and Rick Flag. You know, he's got some of the core characters there, but he's bringing in very obscure characters that no one's ever heard of. So we got to see how that is going to go, and hopefully it's going to be a good film. Again, I'm holding back my enthusiasm about anything because I want to see a trailer. Show me a trailer. People are just getting hyped up because they just want to see movies, and I'm like, you can't do that. You really can't, because it's very, very touchy, the comic book spectrum and the whole fandom in the community. While you have people fighting for the Snyder cut, but they're being hyped up and happy about what's going on, what else is going on, people could take that differently, and that's the main reason why social media is very toxic. And this is and this guy right here is one of the main reasons why it started to get toxic, is because he came out and tried to do a white knight and got Roseanne after Roseanne got fired and lost her show, and she had to basically rebuild her whole brand. He's happy about that. And then when his stuff comes out and all of his past tweets and everything, which Disney should have already known, which they did and they ignored, and that goes against morality clauses. If they basically look past his past tweets, even though they know that he did them, that means that they broke a morality clause, because there are morality clauses in stake for when it comes to these type of businesses. You got to have a morality clause. When they hire people, they look at their Twitter, they look at their Facebooks, they look at their Instagrams, their Snapchats, their LinkedIns, they look at all their social media to make sure that they hired the best person for the job. And he did these tweets 10 years ago, and they basically ignored it. Now, I'm not trying to open up a can of worms, but this is the stuff that's been rumored around, and this is the stuff that basically people need to know. And if he's gonna jump on the white knight and try to applaud what ABC did to Roseanne, but then everyone's gonna jump to his defense and say he's a different person. Well, so you're telling me that Roseanne for all these years is a racist and a bigot? That makes no sense. She fights very hard for women's rights, and especially women comedians, more than Whoopi Goldberg has ever done. Roseanne is one of the first outspoken women in comedy, more than Whoopi Goldberg did. When Whoopi Goldberg disappeared, Roseanne flew into her spot. So all I'm saying here is this, that social media is a very toxic environment, and a lot of people don't engage. But when you engage, just don't get yourself completely involved, and just keep yourself out of it. And that's what I've done. I've kept myself completely out of it. I just chuckle, I'll laugh a little bit, and I go off and go do something else. I've said this before, and I say it again. I appreciate my time a lot more than me going on social media. And if someone wants to fight the good fight on the social media, then hey, all power to them. But there's a lot more that's going on. And also, if you are hyped for this, great. I'm very happy that you're going to be hyped up for this. Me personally, I'm tempering my expectations. I'm tempering all my expectations. Even if they do sign Henry Cavill or Ezra Miller back into these films and continue on with, a Man of Steel 2 or a Flash movie, well, we I'm still going to temper my expectations because I don't know what Toby Emmerich or Walter Hamada is going to plan. We don't know. And judging from what's going on is they are looking at the financial standings of some of these movies and they're going to push forward with them. Now we got to see how Joker performs. If Birds of Prey is mediocre and the fans go, it's okay, we're not going to see a Birds of Prey 2. That's just the way it is. If Joker is a financial success and people love it and the fans love it and the critics kind of met on it, they kind of cold critique it, then they're going to look at the fans and hopefully they're going to push forward. What I'm seeing with Toby Emmerich is he's looking at what the critics are thinking, and I think that that's where the problem lies. And I will get into that into another video, possibly a video, and talk about what's going on with Toby Emmerich and what I think needs to be going on and what I believe that is the final nail in the coffin for what's going on for any of the DCEU characters. But hey, I'm leaving this video here. Like I said, James Gunn, if he's the new shepherd for this DCEU, then more power to him. Let's just hope that Suicide Squad isn't hot crap on a hot day. And let's hope it's good. I mean, if it's good, then he does deserve to at least get a helm at some of the universes. But if he's gonna go back to Disney, that if he does Guardians of the Galaxy 3, they're gonna lock him down, and that's gonna put a massive hindrance on him doing any DC films because Marvel and Disney are not gonna let him go. They're not gonna let him go. They're going to let him do other stuff, but they're going to make sure that he doesn't do anything else that comic book oriented. They're going to make him do, his own little project films. But if he tries to go over to Warner Brothers, we don't know what's going to happen over there. And we honestly don't need to have any more behind the scenes dramas going on. If James Gunn is able to do a DC and a Marvel film, let's hope it's good. And I'm gonna kind of temper my enthusiasm and pull back my expectation, my upset about his upcomings and what he was talking about on social media and the tweets and everything, and just look at him as a filmmaker. And if he does a good job, then hey, he does a good job. Me personally, I was okay with the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I hated Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and he wrote that movie. He didn't write all of Guardians of the Galaxy. He helped with some of the writing for the first Guardians of the Galaxy. A woman did it, and he did all of the writing for Volume 2, and it was not that good. Now, there's a lot of stuff behind that. I don't know. I don't want to do any type of research into it because that's just going to take forever, and I'll just go down a rabbit hole, and it's not worth it. So it's just my opinion, and I can't provide the evidence to show that he didn't do the first movie. But we'll see what's going to happen. Let's just hold back our expectations, and if he is going to become the new Shepherd Head, then we'll see what's going to be happening. And but don't let him possibly being the Shepherd Head not let you go see the Suicide Squad, especially if it's going to be good. But I have a feeling that if he does go back over to Marvel and does Guardians of the Galaxy 3, we're probably not going to hear him doing anything from DC for a while because he's going to be locked down into all the stuff that's going on for Marvel and Disney. They're not going to let him go. They're not going to. They want him to stay under the House of Mouse and get some easy paychecks. But hey, like, comment, subscribe down below, and let me know how you guys feel about it. Let's talk about it. I hope to talk to you soon. Bye.